All right, let's start breathing. Any position. Sit, lie down. Turn on your deep breath. Connect to the ujjayi sound of your breath, a soft whisper in and out. And wherever you can physically feel the breath the most, whether it's at the nostrils, the chest, the abdomen, pick an obvious place to continue to settle your attention. Maybe enjoy the way your breath feels in that place, so that you are enticed to grow in length and volume. To linger on the exhale. Now continue to track the felt sensation of your breath deeper into the body. So if you're at the nostril, shift it down into the throat. Follow it into the lung space. And soften your belly so you feel it pulse there. Maybe release any gripping at the base of your pelvis. So you can even feel the rhythmic movement down at pelvic floor. And snake your breath wherever you want into the body, maybe deeper into the hips, into your legs, knees, or feet. May you run your breath through your spine, starting to seek out and nourish the tender places. Not pushing into, but like a soothing balm. Into the upper back, shoulders. Down your arms, forearms, and wrists. Continue to trace. Now start to settle on one place that you felt, whether it's a injury or tender area that might need a little extra love today. Send your breath there. Or on the other end of the spectrum, you might have found one area to breathe into that brought delight, that made your breath big and exciting. Well, maybe you'll focus your breath in that area. And yes, there might be lots of interesting areas. So just for this one practice, pick one spot. Rub your hands together. Now, if you're in a position where it's safe to reach your area with your hands, you can rest your warm, tingly hands there. Or otherwise, choose to rest hands on belly or heart, wherever you can feel the breath, while simultaneously feeling into your area. And let's give that area a voice. We'll take 3 rounds of Brahmari breath, the bee buzz breath. We'll breathe in together, and then with lips sealed, you'll hum, sending your voice and the physical vibration of that sound into this area. Together we begin. Inhale. And then continue 2 more buzzes on your own. And I'll stay quiet for a moment while you feel the residual vibration. Breathe it in. And come into a sitting position. If you're not already, either right leg crossed in front, right shin in front of left, a square pose, or stack your right shin on your left. Starting in a neck release, let's walk right hand out to the right. Inhale, left arm up. Breathe length into both sides of the rib cage. Exhale, right palm down. Draw your elbow in towards you to help traction shoulder away from head next. And then lean your head to the right. Take a huge breath into the left side body. Exhale, plug pubic bone down and hug low belly up off the pubic bone. Lower left palm towards the earth on left side. Maybe the fingertips reach the ground. Maybe they hover somewhere 12 inches off the ground. Feeling for just the right sensation through left side neck. Send breath into that area. Exhale, feel for softness. And look down at the right hand. Bring your left hand over to the right. So you're kind of twisted and bowed over your right thigh. Now, if that doesn't feel right, the bow part, then just come into a twist. Come upright. Or if you want to come down onto hands or elbows, it's fine if your left hip rises, if that feels okay to your back. Or if you've got your right foot on your left knee, you can use that to massage your left thigh down and out. If you're in a bowed variation, continue to release your neck on the out breath. And inhale, lift up a bit to a straight spine so you can walk your hands forward. And then bow over your two shins. Bowing can always simply mean sitting upright and letting the head release. If you are coming forward into a forward fold, anchor through your tailbone. Scoop the low abdominals up the front of your spine. Create space between the bones of spine. With every pose, send breath into your area that you chose, either your healing area or your vibrant area. And notice how it feels in the shape. Anything that ever brings pain into your area needs to change immediately. So if you're not sure how to adjust the pose, you can unmute yourself and ask me questions. All right, leave your head, neck relaxed as you walk your hands back in. Pick your right knee up, right foot on the floor on either side of your left knee. You're welcome to straighten the left leg out for a spinal twist. Part 1, right elbow to the inside of right thigh. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, spiral up to the left. Less twist than lift. Feel for lifting out of your low back. It's fine if you tip onto the left hip and the right hip rises, if that feels okay to your low back. If you're using a straight leg variation, make sure left toes are still pointing up to ceiling, not rolling over to the left. Pull your right hip down to pull you back to center, and then twist into your right thigh, left hand or elbow to right knee. Release the twist. And come into square pose, left shin crossed in front of right or left shin on the right. Left fingertips walk out to the left. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, lower the left hand down, but keep pulling the mat towards you so you feel like you're lengthening out rather than crunching down into your left side. Breathe length and spaciousness into both sides of the ribs, but especially your opening right side. Exhale, lower the right hand, palm down, to whichever angle allows your neck to start to unwind. So targeting sensation in the neck, but something that you can run your breath through. That'll also work with you as you work with it. Look down at the left hand, bring your right arm across for your bow over the left thigh, or come upright for a twist if that's safer for your back today. If you're not sure what to do, take a breath into your area and see if that has any guidance for you. And lift up so you can walk your hands forward over your two shins. Or maybe they rest on your thighs or shins and you bow. Reach back through your tail, hug your low abdominals in to pull you up. Put left foot on the floor. If possible, mirror the twisting shape you chose for side one. Though I know right hip, left hip might be different enough, right knee, left knee, that it needs a different shape. That's fine. Left elbow starts to the inside of the left thigh for the open twist. Inhale, lift the ribs off the pelvis. Exhale, keep lengthening up as you spiral to the right. If you lean onto right hip, that's fine. Just don't let the right toes roll out if your leg is extended. And pull the left hip back if it's up. Twist into your left thigh. For the closed twist, make sure both sitting bones are evenly pressing into the ground. And then inhale, lift the spine from that root. Release your twist. Come to all fours. Let's do just a couple of our rhomboid push-ups, our kind of deconstructed cat-cow movement for just the upper spine. If you're not comfortable being on hands and knees, stay seated. Do some shoulder shrugs on your own. If you're comfortable on your hands, hands might be a little wider than shoulders, giving your shoulders room to move. You can do this down on your elbows if you want to get off your wrists. Take a moment, find neutral, that space where you can breathe, some lift out of the shoulders, but not necessarily humping the back. Send both tailbone, pubic bone straight back, feeling for neutralizing your spine straight back. The top rim of the sacrum has little dips, so the low back is a natural curve, but you're connected. That area between the lowest rib and your hip bone, that'll stay constant. You're not going to be up, down, and cat-cow. Inhale, chest towards the earth. You can relax your neck all the way. Exhale, upper back to the sky. Moving just between the shoulder blades. Inhale, heart towards earth. Upper back softens as the shoulders rise behind you. Exhale, upper back lifts between your shoulder blades. Keep going like that a few breaths. If you're on your hands, your arms are straight-ish. If elbows need to bend, have them point back, if possible, towards your knees instead of out to the sides. Safer for the shoulders. Take another breath. And come down onto your elbows. Clasp your hands. Pelvic tilts. Relax your neck. Find that halfway lift out of the shoulders, but you're not all the way up in your upper back cat or dropped into your upper back cow. From a neutral pelvis, inhale, top rim of sacrum into the body even more, creating an arch in your low back. Now isolating the low spine. Exhale, top rim of pelvis to ceiling, flattening out the curve in low back. Keep the rest of the spine as steady as possible, the bottom ribs not moving except for the expansion of breath as you breathe your pelvis up and down. Using a fairly subtle movement to run breath between the bones of the pelvis, the low spine. And come onto your back. Elbow to knee abdominals. Stage 1. Lie on your back, feet on the floor. Feet are active. Balls of the feet stay down, but lift and spread your 10 toes so you feel the foot bones and tissue spread out on your mat. Hands clasped behind head and neck. Cradling head in your palms. Inhale down into low back. Exhale, curl head and shoulders up, draw navel to spine. Now keep head and shoulders off the mat. Send your breath down into low back. Little tuck of tail, so not so much a neutral spine, but a tuck. Exhale, twist to your left. Pick your left foot up, knee lines up over pelvis. Pull belly down. Inhale, feet down, head and shoulders come back to center and lift up. Exhale, twist to your right, pick the right foot up. Reach the knee to the ceiling, pull navel to spine. Inhale, center. Press your feet down. Tuck your tailbone in. Exhale, twist left. Pick the left foot up. Pull low belly down. Inhale, center. Shoulders up. Triceps to sky. Exhale, twist right. Pull belly to spine. Release the head back into your hands. Option, keep going like that or start with both feet off the floor. Exhale, twist left. Left knee's already over hip, then straighten your right leg out, pull your belly down. Inhale, center into your chair or feet on mat. Exhale, twist to right. Right knee directly over pelvis. If the left foot is lifted, reach it out. Curl pubic bone and navel, pull navel down. Inhale, center. Press the low back flat, lift your shoulders. Exhale, twist left, right leg out. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to your right. Thigh traction. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to your left. Right leg straight up to the sky. If you're working with feet on the floor, you can choose whether this feels safe to low back or you need to keep the foot down. If you're keeping foot down, just breathe into your flat low back. Those of you in the thigh traction, right hand can take hold of thigh. Take a breath down into right hip. Exhale, spiral right thigh up to the sky. Pull your belly down. So not necessarily lifting hip off the mat, but feeling for the thigh bone lengthening from hip. One more side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to your right, left leg straight. If you're okay releasing your head with your left hand, then take hold of your thigh. Maybe get a grip of some meat there. Take a breath down into the left hip socket. Exhale, spiral left thigh bone up. Pull your belly down. There might not be a visible movement, but you'll feel something in your low belly as you pull the lowest part of your belly off your pelvis. Inhale, feet down. Release your hands. I forgot to ask you to have a block handy for our floating psoas series. So if you have a yoga block, grab that. And let me show you two options while we're up. So most of you do as I say, not as I do. Go get your block and then come back to your mat. One option is you can put your feet on a flat surface for psoas toner, like a wall. I happen to have my couch here. You want to be close enough that your knees are kind of bent because we're coming into a position with hips on block, the low way, and then your straightening leg wants to be able to press into that surface. If possible, down in the corner where the wall meets the floor, but not everyone's foot will be that low. Some of you will be higher. Now, some of you, that's not going to feel right to your low back. Floating psoas you don't have to go near the wall. You guys are familiar with this. So I'll give you a few moments to safely get on your yoga block, the lowest, flattest way, and choose either to set up close to a wall. Either position. Let's hug left knee into chest first. Those of you not using the wall will straighten your right leg out. Activate the foot, lock the knee, but then relax the hip so your leg is hanging from your hip socket. Hug the left knee in, tuck your tail, breathe back bottom ribs to the earth. And continuously, breath by breath, let the right leg go. Those of you pressing right foot into the wall, turn the right, make sure the pinky toe is pointing up to the sky. So you don't have to look. For most of you, you can't turn in too far. You will feel it if you turn your big toe in. Something in the inner leg line into the low belly. That's where you're sending your breath. And set the left foot on the floor. Draw the right knee into your chest. Actually, open the right knee out towards your shoulder. And lift the right foot towards the sky like a happy baby. On the block, your foot's going to be much further away to reach, so please don't strain to try to catch foot. If your strap is handy, that's cool, but otherwise hold on to your ankle or hook elbow around your knee. And breathe softness into the right hip. The hip flexors that were just being stretched, now going completely slack with your exhale. And hug right knee into chest. Tuck your tail. Breathe back bottom ribs down onto mat. Exhale, either straighten left leg out to press it into your wall, or float the left leg. Active foot. Tuck tail, but relax the front of the hip and low belly so your heavy leg starts to get those deeper tissues to unwind. Those of you pressing foot into the wall, you're not pressing hard, just enough that you feel the opening of the hip flexor. Use your breath to soften the right hip. And then any pull or compression you're feeling in the low back, send breath there too. Make space. And set the right foot on the floor. Hug left knee into chest, or open left knee out to your shoulder for your half happy baby type shapes. And fold the left knee in, set your left foot on the floor. If you forgot about your area, your spot, check in with it by sending breath there. See how it received the medicine of psoas lengthening. And then bridge variation, pressing feet in the earth, tucking tail. Your hips may or may not come off your block, but connect to the strength of your legs as you drive your feet down. Some of you, as you press down, will press hips to sky. And I keep referring to these poses as medicine. Choose the right dose for you. Exhale, slowly lower the hips down, move the block aside. And take your time finding your way to a full happy baby. So you might one knee at a time draw knees to shoulders and let your low back resettle. Just be curious about what you feel. Send breath. You don't have to know what you're feeling. I know I like to name things. I like to see images of structures in order to feel them, but it's not required. Feeling just takes feeling. Hug your knees to your chest. And take a few breaths to transition on up to standing. Some of you want to visit cats, cows, down dogs on your way up. Some of you want to continue to stretch out on the floor. That's cool. Keep breathing. Horse stance with back traction, Uddiyana. Stand with your feet 3 feet apart, toes angled out, well, maybe 45 degrees, maybe only 30 degrees. Bend your knees. Palms press into your thighs right at the hip crease. And if it feels okay for shoulders, you can press down until your arms start to straighten and your shoulders hike into your ears. Some bodies, arms straighten all the way. My arms are too long to be able to visualize that, but maybe yours do. Send breath into the spaces that are opening along the bones of the spine. Apshna out Uddiyana. Take a huge breath into the upper lungs, front and back of heart. Blow it out, hold it out. Hold your breath out. Tuck your chin, fly your low belly up off your pubic bone, and scoop everything up into your rib cage. And then repeat that up to 2 more times. You can do normal breathing. You don't have to do Uddiyana. And after your last round, straighten your legs. Turn the toes in, hands to your waist. Inhale, squeeze your elbows back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. 2 more half lifts. Inhale into your low back ribs as you stretch your spine forward, your heart forward. Exhale, soften back in. Take another breath like that. Then inhale to a flat back, hands to your waist, elbows to sky. You might bend your knees and tuck your tail a lot to use your legs and butt to bring you back up. All right, step your feet back together. Find your roll. Something else I didn't tell you to have. If you have a blanket or towel, you can roll up for calf lengthening. Roll that up. If you don't, roll up your yoga mat. And we'll stand on that. So when I roll up my towel, my blanket, it looks pretty much like a yoga mat, same size. Yoga mat might be better, nice and firm. All right, we'll stand and find your yoga block. If you don't have a foam yoga block, find your invisible yoga block. Cork is too heavy to hold. We'll do calf lengthening with serratus anterior activator. Put either foot on the roll. Heels on the earth, but the rest of the foot's on the roll. Stand with your standing foot at first in Tadasana, side by side. Shift your hips back so you feel for the back of the pelvis. Balance right over your heels. Breathe the low back ribs back and ramp your chin back so your skull is also hovering above that. And then if you want to modulate the lengthening you're feeling in the stretched calf, stepping forward with the standing foot will make for more stretch. Stepping back will lighten up the load. So choose that. Bring your pelvis with you if you're stepping forward or back. Put your block on your upper abdomen so you can catch it with your elbows. And then lift your block in front of you, shoulder height, palms facing your face. Continue to breathe length in your calf muscle. And feel for the tail dropping straight down like a plumb line. Breathe the low back ribs up off your low back. Exhale, soften the shoulders down, but keep the block rising. Take 3 more breaths in this shape. Option, some of you adding a little external rotation, trying to roll your forearms away from the block with straight wrists. Notice if that collapses you into your low back. Isn't that curious? Breathe the back ribs back off the low back. Lower your block down, but don't fling it away yet. Other foot on the roll. And then start the process again. Start in a Tadasana and then shift your hips back. So you have a straight line from the outer hip bone to your outer ankle. Breathe the back ribs back if that leaned you forward a little bit because your hips might be a little behind where you're used to standing. Ramp your chin back to make sure your head is floating atop of spine. And one more time, block on your abdomen so you can catch it with your elbows. And this might look exactly like what we just did, sending the block straight out. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, adjust your standing foot if you want more or less stretch in your lengthening calf muscles. Breathe the back bottom ribs off your kidneys. Exhale, soften your chest down as you lift the block up. Take a breath. Exhale, soften the block down, but keep rotating the arms, forearms away. Now 3 times with pulse if it feels right for your shoulders. Inhale the elbows up and out. Exhale, soften down. Keep going. Notice if your upper back, your chest is lifting to get the block up. Keep the chest softly moving down. So you're truly working your shoulder rotation, which can be frustrating, but that stuckness that's in our shoulders, that's what usually pulls on our mid backs because our spine has to compensate. So we'll just unglue things with breath. All right, release your block, step off your roll. Stand in Tadasana. Step your right foot forward one stride. If you were just normally walking that far. Check the outside edges of feet. I'm going to show you my knees are parallel to the edges of your yoga mat, which might make it feel like your knees knocking a little bit. Well, if that's true for you, just brush your thighs with your fingertips, roll to the outer edges of your feet so the thighs rotate away from each other. There's like an opening right up to the pelvis. See if you can keep that external rotation as you plant the forefoot back down. And hands on your hips. Inhale, shift your weight into your right foot so your right hip rises a little. And exhale, shift back to left foot. Left hip tips up. Just keep going back and forth like that, nice and easy, natural breath. Now watch for the pelvis wanting to twist. And instead, keep, I know some yoga teachers call these your headlights. Keep your headlights pointing straight ahead. But they will move up and down in a lubricating way. All right, shift to the other foot in front. Same thing, outside edges of feet parallel to the yoga mat, knees externally rotated, but the forefoot planted. Start with your hips balanced, and then shift weight to left foot, let the left hip rise. Shift back to right foot, right hip rises. Just go back and forth, just feeling for the hips going up and down, side to side, but not twisting. And if you're being very meticulous, that angle between hip bones and pubic bones stays steady, so there's no tilt to the pelvis. You stay in the same plane. This is functional walking in the hips. So it might feel familiar. All right, and then come stand at the front of your mat in Tadasana. Breathe the back bottom ribs out. Keep that space as you ease the shoulders back. Utkatasana, sit back into your chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Runner's lunge, step left foot back. Hands frame the right foot. Your hands can be on blocks. You can be on fists or fingertips. Coming into crescent lunge means tilting the tail down, tilting the pelvis down. So some of you might need to bend the back knee to bring hands to front thigh and line shoulders up over hips. Thigh traction, take hold of your right thigh bone and traction it forward. Maybe you re-lengthen the back leg if that feels like a sweet stretch for hip flexor. Maybe you rest left knee on the earth for extra support. That's fine. Breathe the back ribs out. Exhale, traction thigh bone forward, but ease the shoulders, elbows back. Lizard variation. Lower your hands down to the inside of your right foot. If possible, stay on the back toes, continue to lengthen the back hip flexors, but some of your hips might prefer knee down, and that's fine. Now feel for breathing your spine from your pelvis, getting length in both directions from your hip flexors. Elbows might be on ground or blocks, that's fine. Pyramid. Back up onto your hands, bring your right foot between your two hands. Left foot steps slightly forward, so it's only about 2 or 3 feet behind the left for your hamstring stretch. If you like, put your hands on blocks to feel for more lengthening in your spine. Lizard. Bend your right knee. Slide the left leg all the way back, or deep lunge hip opener. This time, set your back knee down, both hands to the inside of right leg. And again, maybe elbows are down on ground or block, maybe just your left elbow. Or if you want to stay up on your hands, you might want to lock your elbows out so your hips can start to release to the pose without your arms getting weary. Downward facing dog. If you're not doing down dog right now, then step into a forward fold. Runner's lunge, left foot between your hands. Scoop your low belly up and lengthen your thigh. Your spine right over your left thigh. Keep the shoulders easing back. Crescent lunge, hands to front thigh. Again, bend back knee as much as you need to make sure tail drops down and shoulders can stack over hips. Maybe you lower back knee onto the earth. Hold onto your left thigh bone. Take a breath down into pelvis. Exhale, feel for spiraling your left thigh forward. Ease shoulders, elbows back. Lizard variation. Hands to the inside of left foot. Stay on the back toes. If it's right for you, keep the right thigh lifted, even if you choose to lower the elbows down. Pyramid. Come back onto your hands, foot between your hands. Adjust the right foot into your one-legged hamstring stretch. Activate the foot. Spread toes of left foot. Press ball mound into the earth as you send the left hip back. Then breathe your low belly up off your thigh as you lengthen your spine out. Deep lunge part 2. Bend the left knee. Slide right leg back, this time lowering right knee down. Take the time if you're on a hard surface, please pad your knee. Hands to the inside of the left foot. Maybe you lower down onto your elbows. Or use a blocker bolster. Bring the ground to you so you can focus completely on getting breath into pelvis. And find your way onto your belly. You can visit down dog first if you want. For quarter boat. Fold your hands in front of you. Rest your forehead on your hands. Ventilate the low back ribs with your inhale breath. Exhale, curl pubic bone down into the mat and start to spiral right thigh bone back. And feeling for that traction of thigh bone lengthening from hip. Right leg might lift off the earth. Then you lift and spread your toes. But just like the floating psoas, relax the hip. Maybe engage at the bottom of your buttock, right at the sitting bone into the tailbone. But no gripping in the buttock itself. Send breath into the space you just made in right hip. And exhale, release leg down. Inhale, fan the back bottom ribs off your kidneys. Exhale, curl pubic bone into mat and start to spiral left thigh back. Feel for unwinding the femur bone from the hip socket. If it gets some lift and lengthen, you start to spiral top of thigh in towards the right. Right leg and the rest of your body as relaxed as possible, except you might curl the pubic bone down actively. One more breath to heat up the tissues inside your left hip. Exhale, lower down. Take a huge breath into your area of focus, the intention you set in beginning of practice. Exhale and feel. Cobra or low cobra. Either set up like a sphinx or bring your hands closer to your shoulders. And then pull on the mat. Plug pubic bone down, scoop low belly up. Inhale your chest forward. Exhale, ease shoulders back. Exhale, lower down. Either rest or complete your vinyasa. If you're craving an up dog, down dog, go for it. We'll meet in runner's lunge, right foot forward. Optional extension. Fist with the left hand, knuckles on the ground. Right arm reaches forward, thumb pointing to ceiling so you can wrap right shoulder blade around the armpit. And then feel for lengthening from pinky finger to your tucked right sitting bone, out through the left inner ankle. Scoop your belly into that line. Vertical splits. Hands down, also known as upside down tree. Bow your head, raise the left leg up. So in the Sanskrit, no part of this pose is named splits. I'm not concerned with your legs being straight, your left leg being lifted. This is either upside down tree or one-legged handstand. So whatever you want to focus on here. And lower the left leg back down. Let's go into warrior one. Twisting warrior, any variation. Left hand on ground or block, or left elbow can cross thigh. If you prefer to set the back knee down here, that's fine. Twist into the right thigh. So left elbow across right thigh. So right leg forward. There you go. The open twist is not incorrect. I was just suggesting the closed twist so we can milk that right hip as you draw it back and under. Pigeon. Any expression of pigeon, not a long hold, just about 5 breaths. So if a belly down variation works for you, you might choose to extend left leg back or bend it out to the side like deer pose. You can stay upright, or you can lengthen into your sleepy variation. If you're on your back, Come into figure 4 or pigeon on the back. And find your way onto your belly for right H to B, heel to butt. If you know lying on your belly, this quad stretch doesn't work for you, there's too much pinch in low back or too much pull on knee, well, then try lying on your left side and see if you can modify that. Target the quadriceps, the front of the thigh, hip flexor, without creating pain anywhere else. So yes, medicine sometimes hides side effects. Choose something that has no side effects for you. And carefully release. Either rest for a moment or take a vinyasa, which can include do a cat-cow. Turn up your breath. Left foot forward, runner's lunge. Optional extension, fist with the right hand so you can leave knuckles on the ground and reach left arm forward. And scoop the ribs, the lowest ribs, up into your waist to try to keep torso, spine, parallel, hovering over the earth. Ekapada Adho Mukha Vrikshasana. Hands down, shift your weight onto left leg, float right leg in the air, bowing your head. Twisting warrior variation. Step the right foot back into warrior 1. And if possible, mirror the twist you chose on side 1. Right hand to ground block. Right elbow to thigh. Or if you need to be out of warrior 1, choose that. And pigeon variation. Possibly mirroring the variation you chose on side 1. And find your way onto your belly for left H to B. Or lie on your right side if that's safer for your body today. For knee tweakiness, you're feeling a lot of pull at the knee. It might be helpful to hold your ankle and actively flex your foot over your hand. That can stabilize the knee depending on the condition. And carefully release. If you'd like to take one more vinyasa, go for it. Otherwise, take a moment to rest and then roll onto your back. Figure 4, right ankle hooks over left thigh. Any expression that continues to run breath through your hips, low back. and your area. Option is slide right leg over the left thigh for a twisted root shape, and then drop your knees to the left in spinal twist. Any other spinal twist will also do. And to unwind your twist, you might need to bring your right arm across, untangle your legs, and then roll onto your back. Figure 4, left ankle, right thigh. And then maybe keeps threading left thigh over right for twisted root. Or stay as you are, if you prefer, instead of twisting. And to unwind, maybe bring left arm across into fetal curve, untangle your legs, and then ease into your Shavasana. As always, if you want to take your Shavasana for the full 5 to 7 minutes, I would prefer I don't interrupt you in 2 minutes. And then we can namaste now. And if you'd like to continue your rest, allow my voice to move into the background with the rest of the outside sounds. And those of you coming up, maybe put your hands on your belly for a moment. Take some slow breaths down into the low belly and flush out your hips, low back. And stay with the sensations there, or shift your attention into your area as you slowly bend your knees and find your way up to sitting in a way that makes sense to your body today. May the fruits of our practice benefit not only us, may they heal those on our path, those we haven't known we've even touched, and those we've yet to meet. Namaste.